Hey guys, and welcome back to Mystic Mamas. I'm your host, Danielle Danglade, and today I'm actually hosting an episode by myself. Dakota and I were honestly supposed to put out our next episode together, but things came up and life happened as it does, right? I think it's important that Dakota's talked about this before about taking inspired action and not feeling like forced action. And when it came time to record, Dakota and I were both kind of going through something and it just didn't feel in alignment. And we want to put out that that's perfectly okay, and to listen to that intuition so that you're not just feeling forced to do things that doesn't feel right in the moment, and to come back. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Actually, it's exactly what I wanted to talk about on this episode was realigning, refocusing, redirecting. And when you quote unquote possibly fall off the wagon, right? In anything you might do, this can really be applied to any kind of goal, any kind of daily routine, any kind of anything. Falling off the wagon can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And in a sense, I think that lately I've been really struggling with consistency. What is consistency? What does consistency mean in terms of trying to grow and heal and weight loss and staying consistent with mental and physical health routines? And I feel like I get caught up a lot in the need for perfection, obviously, and for things to be like, if I don't do it every day, every week, every month, then I'm just not being consistent, right? And that belief and that statement has caused me to fall off the wagon and stay off the wagon more than just allowing consistency to be getting back up. So for me, lately, I'm trying to rewire what consistency means to me. And that is when I do fall off, or when I'm not even sure if I want to use fall off, but when I do have like a lull or a downtime or restful energy, and I'm not just going, and I'm not on top of my routines, and I'm not doing all these things, I don't want to see that as inconsistency. I just want to see that as needing, my body and mind need something. And usually it's rest. Usually it's a break. Usually it's pressure needing to be taken away. And quite frankly, to me now, what I'm trying to do is consistency is getting back up and keep going, and to keep pushing whenever you do fall off, or whenever you do have a restful time period or season of rest where you just aren't going. And that, I think that is a lot tied into also hustle culture, right? Where we're being fed all this like, oh, daily grind, daily grind, daily grind. And we don't honor the rest enough, and we don't honor our breaks, and we don't honor time periods and our flows. And, if you listen to the podcast episode where we talk about, our cycles as women specifically, where we're not always in go mode, and we shouldn't be, because we have a 28-day cycle, not an everyday 24-hour cycle like men do. And so it's not always going to be on, and that's okay, and that's valid, and that is part of our human experience, especially as women, where we just have downtime, and we have down periods, and we have lots of emotions, and not all of them are going to be positive, and that is okay. And I want to just touch on how important it is to just honor that period, and also honor the fact that at any point and any day, you can realign and redirect and refocus and get back up and keep going and keep moving that needle forward in whatever direction you're trying to go, in whatever area of your life you're trying to move it forward. Especially if you're doing a lot, and especially for us moms, we are constantly overworked. No matter if you're a working mom, stay-at-home mom, or whatever kind of mom, it's always on go. You're always on go. So there's going to be a lot of time periods where the rest of it is just too much. And I think that's important to also note, is that in our down periods, right, in our times where we might not be doing all these things, and we don't feel motivated, and we don't feel like it, or whatever it is, then in that moment, there's something needed. You need rest, or you're feeling burnt out, or whatever you're trying to push through isn't in alignment anymore. There's a lesson in what you are going through. There's a lesson in why you need that break, why you need that period of rest, why you're falling off again. There's something that is needed. And for me recently, I've been really struggling with shaming myself on not being fully in flow in the way I want. And then I get caught up, right? I get caught up in all these pressures and this paralysis by analysis where I'm just like, oh, there's so many things I'm not doing. There's so many things that I am not staying up to date with when I really want to. And that's not true when I really look at it. Yes, I might have a couple of days where I'm just like, bleh, and I'm just focused on motherhood and nothing else is feeling very motivational. I don't want to work out. I don't want to run. I don't want to do the inner healing work. I don't want to work on our podcast or our business. And that's not that these things aren't very important to me. It's that I need a break. I need rest. I need to give my step back. A lot of the stuff we're doing, especially if you're doing inner healing work, is it's very heavy. It feels very heavy. There's a lot of things that come up. There's a lot of feelings and emotions and traumas that can come up. And in that, like, I have to remind myself that healing work isn't like academic work. Whereas to explain that a little is like whenever you're in school and you just get through your homework and you get through all this learning and doing and academics, it's easy to do day to day, where healing isn't linear. And I have kind of struggled with looking at inner healing work kind of like academic work, where I just need to get through it, do it, pick up the book and read like it's some kind of subject, and not just like actually being able to go slow and embody that work and honor the fact that stuff is going to come up and it's going to feel heavy. And some days you just need to like take a step back and take some rest and take some days to kind of like unpack what you're actually learning and unpack all that you're going through. And when you're doing all this kind of work and you're doing things like, and especially also because I am in a fitness journey right now to kind of get to a more comfortable space in my body after all the pregnancy weight I gained, it's a lot. I'm doing a lot. And so I just want to remind you to like honor, and myself, I'm reminding myself also to like honor rest and honor breaks and honor the fact that it's not always going to be a day-to-day thing, and that's okay. And that anytime you find yourself kind of like falling back and kind of like getting off track, that any day, it doesn't have to be a Monday, it doesn't have to be the beginning of the month, it doesn't have to be on full moon, any day, any moment of any day, you can do differently. You can realign with what you want to do, redirect yourself, and refocus on your goals and refocus on what you really want. And to not just get discouraged or shame and blame and guilt yourself because you're not constantly going or you're not constantly doing all the things. We're not meant to constantly be doing all the things. And that's not to dismiss the importance of like consistency, right? It's not to dismiss the fact that in order to be consistent, you do have to keep going. It's to remind you that consistency doesn't always mean every single day, every single hour, every single minute. It just means that you don't give up. The important thing is to never get up. Like we talked about the law of unwavering faith. It means literally that you just constantly have faith that your goals are coming, your dreams are being accomplished, you are making progress, you are moving forward, no matter what breaks, no matter what negative flow or negative energy comes up. It's there to be healed, it's there to be released. What comes up is trying to go, and sometimes that takes some real rest in between, and it takes some learning lessons that kind of are up and down. And there is always a lesson in the mess, right? There's always a message in the mess. So if you're having like a really messy couple of weeks, there's a message in that. There's learning to happen in that. There is something going on that needs to be seen and heard and validated. And it's just a reminder that stuff comes up, and it is very normal, and it is just part of the journey. And this episode is for me as much as it might be for anybody else, because I very much so tend to get into this mindset that if I'm having a down week or month or day, then it's ruining my progress, or or it means I'm regressing in some way or form, and that now I've got to do work to heal that through, or I'm like stalling my manifestations or stalling my progress, when all that isn't true. It's just a human experience. We're all just having human experiences, and we have to feel those feelings to feel the opposite, like the joy that comes in, to feel the other things, the opposite side of the spectrum, right? You can't get one without the other. It is very much so all just part of the process, and trusting in the fact that no matter what you're experiencing now, it's going to shift, it's going to change. Tomorrow could be a brand new day. And if you are feeling like today's a brand new day, then jump on that energy, jump into that aligned action, because tomorrow could be different, but that's part of it, right? And I just want to remind everyone that it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to kind of take steps back in a sense, because you're not really taking steps back. You're just resting. You're just getting a new lesson. And in that, I don't even know where I was going, to be honest. I had a little brain fart, but that's okay. We're going to pick back up. Basically, all this just to say that there's no such thing as perfection, point in case, right? Let me just start off by saying I sometimes hold myself to this standard of perfection where if it's not perfect, it's not worth it. And that is just total bullshit, because like nothing's ever perfect, and everything, it's always worth it. And all this work is hard, and all these things we're doing can be difficult and have big feelings and things that come up. And on top of motherhood, holy shit. Like some days it's like I don't give myself enough credit for all the stuff I'm doing, and only look at the things that I'm not doing or that I haven't accomplished yet, and not all that I have accomplished. And we really deserve to celebrate ourselves every step of the way. If you're having a moment, celebrate that, because it means you're human. It means that you are making progress. I find that a lot of times whenever I'm like really struggling, or stuff is like coming up all of a sudden, that it's because I'm making progress, and I'm like getting to this upper level limit, and my body's freaking out, because it's like, holy shit, time to self-sabotage, time to kind of like, this is too much. And it's like, you're on the like precipice of a breakthrough, right? Breakdowns, breakthroughs, they're all part of each other. And you just have to kind of really hold compassion for yourself in those moments. And I know sometimes it can be hard, because I also struggle with holding compassion for myself. Again, I'm very hard on myself, and I expect this level of perfection out of childhood trauma from it, but that's another story. But yeah, just to be nicer to yourself in those moments. And a lot of times, like for an example, for me, I'll resist. If just for a real life example, I'm doing a course right now, and in that course, it's like, I think it's 20 weeks, and I'm already like 6 months into this, and I'm maybe halfway done, right? And I shame myself sometimes because I resist the work, because it is heavy work. And to get that deep with yourself sometimes can feel very much so like, no, fuck that, please. I don't want to be this aware of myself. I don't want to revisit these traumas. I just want to run away. And I get in these moods where I'm just like, oh, close the computer. I'm done. You're done. Thank you. But in that, when I don't shame myself and I just embrace the fact that I need to take a step back, usually by the time I open my computer again to restart, then I'm in a headspace where I needed that exact message that's coming through. Like if I'm resisting it, I'm resisting it for a reason. Now, do I know that reason every time? No. But usually it pops right in when I press play, And the message seems like it's made for me in that exact moment. And so everything happens for a reason. And it's all part of divine timing, and your exact timeline isn't going to look like someone else's timeline. So everything is falling into place as it should. Everything is happening as it should, right? For you, for your experience, for your timeline, for you specifically. And it's never going to look like someone else's. And it's never going to look as put together as someone else's, because a lot of times we don't see all the like breaks people take. We don't see the breakdowns they have in between. We don't see all the slow days that they just are like, no, I'm not doing anything. I don't want to do anything. I want to give up. I want to quit. We don't see that a lot of times, especially on social media, where it's just a very much everyone's highlight reels, everyone's success stories, everyone's overnight. Like, we don't know that overnight sensation is 10 years in the making, because we don't see all the downsides. A lot of people don't play that up because it's not cute. It's not pretty. That's not the like perfect aesthetic thing we're looking at. When every one of us goes through these, every one of us goes through these trial and error periods. Every one of us has a roller coaster of a timeline where we have ups and downs, highs and lows. And all of it is just about people redirecting and refocusing and realigning when they do have that moment, right? A lot of success comes with a lot of failures, a lot of backtracking and redirecting and redos. And so it's important to give yourself that kind of grace when you're having a moment like that. And it's important to trust in yourself, in the universe, in your co-creative process, and to know that everything is happening for you, including the struggles, including the moments where you just aren't having any of it. And Dakota and I talked about it this weekend, where we have a lot of moments even within each other in this business and everything, where we have a lot of limiting beliefs when we're making progress and we're doing things that are like really cool. I know for a fact that we both have a lot of limiting beliefs that pop up, and it can cause us to kind of like, oh, whoa, that's a little scary. I need to take a step back. I can't do this. I'm not smart enough. I'm not educated enough. And we're working on healing those things, right? But sometimes it means we just take a step back and we're like, I can't handle pushing through that feeling. I have to feel it and just own it and honor it for a minute, for a day. Sometimes, if I loop it, it takes me a couple of days, and then I'm like, oh shit, okay. We're no longer just feeling the feeling, we're looping it, and it's time to, here's those words again, realign, redirect, and refocus. That's kind of the theme of this episode. I don't know if you can catch my drift, but that's kind of the theme of my week this week. I have been in that's where this whole message came through, right? I didn't even have a plan for this episode. To be honest, we were going to skip this week. I don't know when this episode's going to come out, but I do know that I just felt like I needed to get this out, and I needed this reminder for myself. And also maybe there is someone out there who also needs this reminder that we're never behind. We're exactly where we're meant to be. And if you are feeling like, oh shit, I've been off my game for a week, 2 weeks, a day, I don't know, it could be literally any amount of time period. None of that matters. It really doesn't. All that matters is that you get back up, you get back focused on what is important to you and why, and heavy on the why. If you can remind yourself of your why, and you have a very, very strong why, then you'll never give up. You'll never stop. You'll never let it be too heavy. You'll never let it be too much. Like for me, just to share with you guys, my why is so strong now that I became a parent. And when I think about how this business is scary, but putting ourselves out there the way we have been is scary. When I think about the healing I'm doing is a shit show, and it's hard and it feels heavy, and all of a sudden there's so many things. It's like when you're doing generational trauma work and inner healing and all of that, it's like sometimes it feels like, why the fuck am I doing this? Like I miss the days when I was like unaware I miss the days when I was unconscious and all I cared about was having a good time and none of this healing shit. And ignorance was bliss, baby. Like I have those moments. Dakota has those moments where we're just like, fuck, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, you become a black sheep of your family. You become this person who's like so aware of not only yourself, but people around you, the world. And it just becomes so much sometimes that I know I personally just want to be like, exit stage left, I'm done. And same thing with starting a business and running a podcast. It's like, all this feels heavy sometimes and hard, and there's a lot of unknown and a lot of faith that goes in it, and sometimes it feels like, what am I doing? But at the same time, my why brings me back. My why will always bring me back, because my why is my son. My why is not passing down this shit to my kid so that he can have a better start, a better life, a leg up in life. And so my why is so strong that even if I have down weeks, months, hours, whatever it is, I will stand back up, because if I don't, I have failed my son in many different ways. And it's the same with starting a business, with wanting to succeed in the ways and trust and honor my dreams and my goals, because outside of motherhood, I'm still very much my own individual who very much has goals and dreams they want to fulfill. And I know that if I don't push and follow those pulls from my heart, then I will not be the fulfilled and happy and whole mother that my son deserves. I don't want to live in any regrets. I don't want to live in any kind of feeling where I gave up. And I want to be an example to my son of what is possible for you when you never give up on yourself, when you always trust in the timeline, you trust in your divine timing, you trust in yourself and your co-creation with the universe, and you trust that every step of the way has had purpose, including the times when you were not in alignment. All of it has purpose, and all of it means that you're human and you're moving forward. All of it is part of it. All of it is part of the journey, and all of it has its place. And so, yeah, it's not always easy to, like I said, hindsight's 2020. It's not always easy to feel these things. This time last week, I probably would be rolling my eyes at this conversation with myself, because I was in the thick of it and in the thick of a lot of limiting beliefs and a lot of like, might as well give up now because I have been out of alignment for 2 days, which is crazy when you look at it back. I'm like, damn, that's a little dramatic, right? But when you're in the thick of it, sometimes it can be hard to hear it. And now on hindsight, I'm looking back and I'm like, it was just part of it. I needed to go through what I went through in those moments, because I needed to be reminded, and I needed to receive this message to share with y'all, for somebody, for me, for anyone who might have needed it. It's just all part of it. And I know I've probably said that a couple of times, but that's how strongly I feel about this message. It's just a reminder that you're always on time, and you're always in the right space, and you're always being guided, even if it feels like you're not. And you are always moving forward if you just stay consistent with getting back up, standing back up when you do fall down, getting back on that wagon, whatever that wagon is to you, getting back on your move forward and never giving up. I think that's the main core thing, is to just never give up and always hold on to that faith that you have, that everything is always working out for you, and that you are always in the exact place that you need to be, and that there is always a message in your mess. And so that is my message for you guys today. It's just a short little, hey, what's up? Hello. Here's what I've been going through for a second. I hope that this could help even just one of you. Even if this doesn't resonate with anybody else but one, I will be happy, because I think I needed this message as much as maybe one of you does. And yeah, that's that. Just a reminder that at any point in time, it's never too late to just get back up, realign with what you want, redirect your energy, and refocus on the bigger picture and your why. Always remember that your why is so important. And if you keep a hold on that, you will never be behind. You just got to keep pushing and have faith in yourself and trust in the process. So, yeah, if this resonated with you and if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us some feedback, leave any kind of questions or comments or anything you like in the show, in the notes, in our reviews online. If you follow us on any of our TikTok page or Instagram, definitely hit us up. Let us know how you felt about this episode, any kind of thoughts you have. And also, if you don't follow us, you should. Those are all be in the show notes, our links and everything. And of course, I just want to thank you guys as usual for always being here, always listening to us, and just being one of the most healing communities ever. And just so grateful for you all. And just really grateful to be able to facilitate this space for everybody. And yeah, hope you have a wonderful day and week. And I love you guys. Bye.